Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So just a little update for you. I've been taking some cuttings recently down here to try to propagate some of my herbs because I was really thinking that the sooner I start propagating the better, because that's going to compound the size of my collection more over time, right? As in if I start trying to make copies of my plants, grow copies of my plants, sooner rather than later, I'm going to maximize the total amount of plants that I have over time, right? So I thought I'd actually get started with taking some cuttings and trying to propagate already, okay? And I've already started with some of my cooking herbs. So the oregano, thyme, and lemon thyme. I think only maybe 2 of these are likely to be successful, but we will see. But I've done something a bit more ambitious now, which is to take a cutting from my lime tree and attempt to propagate this. So I've just taken a little cutting here, and this is about 2 to 3 inches deep in the soil. And I was researching this a little, and apparently it's best to let a node sit under the soil, because that's where new roots are going to grow from. So I've got a leaf node with the leaves stripped off under the soil. We will see how this gets on. I'm slightly precious about this tree because this is much more valuable than anything else in the collection. And it's more exotic. It's a tropical plant. It's much more high maintenance compared to everything else. And it's more valuable, much more labor intensive. So I'm slightly precious about this. It's already, frankly, not in the best condition. Optimal conditions for this thing are, tropical. It needs 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. We're now at the end of summer here in England, so it's getting a bit on the colder side, sometimes dropping down to about 16 degrees, which is not ideal, honestly. I need to get an electric heater for this room. I don't want to use the radiator because that's just going to blast direct heat onto the herbs, and that's, that might kill them. But I'm getting an electric heater, stick it in the back of the room, something like that, and try to heat the whole room a bit more subtly like that, and keep it just above room temperature, something like 22 degrees, which again will not be optimum for the lime tree, but it'll be sufficient. I can't make it higher than that because obviously this is actually a room I use in my house, so I can't really afford to have it any higher than 22 degrees. But it should be sufficient for this lime tree and for everything else. This thing obviously needs humidity as well, so I've got a humidity tray and I've been misting it with a misting bottle. Really, it probably needs more humidity than that. And as for light, I have got these big windows which I open during the day. It's a southwest facing room, and I've got these LED grow lights as well. So I think I'm covered for light, but really it could do with being a bit hotter, because the climate here in England is not ideal for this thing, which really belongs in Thailand or Indonesia or something like this, right? By the way, the species of lime is Citrus Hystrix, also known as the Kaffir Lime or the Macrot lime. There are a bunch of different limes, and this one produces the most, so I'm told from my research, the most aromatic leaves used in a culinary context, and also for teas, things like that, whereas other limes are more fruit focused. This thing does produce fruit. We've got some little fruits starting to grow, as you can see here, but they're likely, 1, not to do too well in this climate, and 2, with this species of lime, they don't get that big. From what I've read, maybe just larger than a golf ball or something like that. Not a great big lime like you might get in the supermarket. You need another species of lime for that, according to my reading, although I may be incorrect about a few details. As I say, I'm not an expert on this yet, so if you really want to confirm things, please do check yourself and do your own reading. But yeah, this is not really a fruit intensive plant, it's more for the leaves. So yeah, because mostly I want to be making teas and also cooking herbs, things like that. But in any case, I've taken this little cutting, given it a mist. You can see the water droplets, given it a bit of a mist in the water. The thing is, you know, this is actually not likely to do too well, but I really wanted to try because, as I say, if I can propagate this sooner rather than later, you know, that would be ideal because I want to expand my collection. And these things take, really, they take years to grow, you know, so the sooner I can start, the better. But I'm not too optimistic about this because the conditions are not great, and also I don't have a proper citrus compost. This really needs a specialized compost, something, again, from what I've read, higher in nitrogen and very airy, because the thing is susceptible to root rot. You want a lot of drainage potential, so you want the compost to be very airy so water can drain out. I do not, unfortunately, have a specialized compost, so I'm doing the best with what I've got. We will see how this comes along. Obviously, I'm hoping we will have success, but if not, it's not actually the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. If not, I'll just take these leaves and, you know, maybe try again with a better setup later. Because as you can see, there are plenty of places to take cuttings from. It's a pretty established plant. I think it's several years old, maybe 4 years old, something like that. I don't entirely know, but it's a pretty established plant. I just bought it like this, so plenty of other places to take cuttings from if this one fails. But kind of an experiment here, hoping this goes well. We shall see. According to some of my reading, it might be a good idea to create a little humidity chamber for it, like a transparent covering to maintain local humidity. But again, I'm very limited for resources, so again, this is quite an ambitious thing to try to do. You know, propagate, not only to grow, but to propagate a tropical plant in my house. Not the easiest thing to pull off, but we're gonna have a crack at it, all right? And just gonna say it straight up, high chance this thing dies and you never see this again. But I'm just experimenting, right? And hopefully it will be a success.